Hi there, this is Pride Daily. Gay TikTok star Chris Olsen says he's a victim of revenge porn. He's been telling his 13 million followers some private pictures were shared on Twitter without his consent. Reckons it first happened 4 years ago and it's still happening now.
It never stopped. It's non-consensual. It's violating. It's fully abuse and illegal. Like, you are a criminal now if you've done that. And if you're contributing to this, you're contributing to a culture of abuse.
The 26-year-old also says he'd been trying not to talk about this publicly, but too many people knew about the pic, so that ship sailed. There have been a number of well-known revenge porn victims, including Rihanna, Scarlett Johansson and Jennifer Lawrence. A law criminalising gay sex has been upheld in Ghana after a legal challenge at the Supreme Court there was dismissed. Same-sex relations can get you up to 3 years in prison in the West African country, and that could increase. A new, much harsher anti-LGBTQ+ laws waiting on presidential approval. You'd get 3 years inside just for identifying as queer. And a drag queen reenactment of the Last Supper at the Olympics opening ceremony has been causing Christians some consternation. You're welcome, alliteration fans. It was a parody of the painting by Leonardo da Vinci depicting Jesus' final meal with his disciples. As you'd expect, the criticism has been plentiful, with the performance labelled disrespectful, blasphemous, an abomination, and full woke dystopian. More than 55,000 people have showed up for Trans Plus Pride in central London. This year's theme was Justice and Liberation, with a march from Trafalgar Square to Wellington Arch. Famous transgender faces there included Yasmin Finney from Heartstopper and Doctor Who, plus actor, writer and YouTuber Abigail Thorne. She's been telling London Trans Plus Pride the event's a chance to flag up inequality.
We're still not allowed to control our own bodies. We're still not allowed to control our own healthcare. We're still not allowed to get married the same way cis people are without obtaining permission from a doctor first. And we are still completely shut out of the political process that governs our lives.
The aim's also to celebrate trans and gender diverse people and show support. Organisers claim it's now the biggest trans pride march in the world. The transgender daughter of Elon Musk's calling him a cruel bully who's cold, uncaring and narcissistic. Vivian Jenner Wilson's been clapping back after he gave an interview in which he repeatedly misgendered and dead-named her. The father of 12, claimed he'd lost a son to the woke mind virus. She says he was a barely present father who attacked her for being queer and feminine. And happy out and proud Parents' Day, everyone. The idea is for them to big up their LGBTQ+ kids on socials, share stories and offer advice. Then hopefully this inspires acceptance in parents who are struggling with their child's queerness. The hashtag's Out and Proud Parents' Day, funnily enough, if you're looking for more on this. A French DJ and lesbian activist says her life's being threatened for taking part in a drag reenactment of the Last Supper at the Olympics. Barbara Bush claims she's become the target of an extremely violent campaign of cyber harassment and defamation. Critics labelled the performance at the opening ceremony blasphemous and disrespectful. Paris Games spokesperson Anne Descamps says there was no intention to offend.
On the contrary, we did try to celebrate community tolerance. We believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offence, we are, of course, really, really sorry.
Barbara, who's Jewish, says there have been threats of death, torture and rape, plus homophobic, sexist and anti-Semitic insults. Insists she was honoured to take part, though, and refuses to be a victim. A Catholic priest is suing Grindr because he reckons he was outed by the queer dating app. Monsignor Jeffrey Burrell resigned from a senior role with the US Conference of Catholic Bishops in 2021 when his Grindr use was made public by a Catholic news website. He claims his data was sold without his knowledge or consent, causing him to lose his job and significantly harm his reputation. And who'd have thought it? A video that appears to show Volodymyr Zelensky unconscious in an LGBTQ+ club toilet is a fake. Never in a million years. It supposedly showed the Ukrainian president being woken up by police from a drug-induced state, but fact-checkers say the original undoctored footage shows a different man. A separate image of Zelensky in hot pants at a Pride event is also fake, sadly. The murder of transgender people in Mexico City now carries a prison sentence of up to 70 years. A law has been passed to criminalise trans femicide, the killing of people because they're trans. Mexico is the second worst country in the world for transgender murders after Brazil. Roberto Marcia Vidal is an LGBTQ+ activist in Mexico. He tells ABC News Australia some incidents are just disregarded.
Unfortunately, sometimes the governments silence us so as not to make much turmoil, since there have been a lot of killings of members of the LGBT population and of trans girls that have never been investigated. They're just shelved.
231 queer people were murdered in Mexico between 2021 and 2023. 2/3 were trans. Turkey's president says the non-existent LGBT lobby has taken Europe and the West hostage. His comment comes off the back of the Olympics opening ceremony and a controversial drag reenactment of the Last Supper. President Erdogan also reckons he refused to go to the event after finding out there'd be queer propaganda. Bet he wasn't invited. And the 1975 are being sued over an illegal same-sex kiss on stage in Malaysia. Matty Healy and Ross MacDonald got facially intimate at the Good Vibes Festival last year. Despite the country's strict anti-LGBTQ+ laws, it led to the event being shut down. Now the organisers suing the band and each member individually for just under £2 million. The family of a missing transgender woman's offering a $10,000 reward for information about her disappearance. 42-year-old Taylor Casey from Chicago hasn't been seen for a month and a half. The Air Force veteran had been in the Bahamas on a yoga retreat. Friend Emily Williams tells ABC News she feels police aren't investigating properly because Taylor is trans.
They didn't have any leads or any conclusions about what might have happened, and there were some real gaps in the information. We still had a lot of questions about exactly what happened, where was Taylor, and what information did the police have.
A fundraiser to help with the family's investigations has now topped $35,000. A group of Polish football fans have been banned from a stadium in Warsaw after waving an anti-queer banner during a match. It said the Kazimierz Sosnkowski Stadium was an LGBT-free zone. The fans have got 2-year bans from Polonia Warszawa. The club says that sends a clear message. And a painting of Sam Smith has gone on display at the National Portrait Gallery in London. It's called Gloria, and you see the singer wearing angel wings whilst playing a harp and showing off one of their nip-nips. The portrait's part of a new History Makers gallery. Also features a painting of queer rights campaigner Peter Tatchell wearing a rainbow tie. I'm Kev McGraw. See you Monday.